Surrender everything to the Buddha, a journey to inner peace and trust. Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the need to control everything in your life? Do you find yourself believing that only your efforts can fix every challenge you face? Sometimes, it feels like taking control is the only option. However, more often than not, forcing outcomes leads to greater stress and frustration. This is especially true when we grow impatient with life's natural flow, whether it's financial worries, relationship struggles, or our personal dreams. The Buddha taught the value of living simply and letting go of attachments, yet many of us, at times, think we know a better way. Imagine someone chasing material possessions, a larger house, a brand new car, only to find themselves weighed down by financial stress, unable to enjoy what they worked so hard to obtain. Or consider someone feeling lonely, rushing into an unwise relationship, ignoring their own values, and ending up even more disconnected. These scenarios remind us of one essential truth: surrendering to the teachings of the Buddha and trusting life's unfolding is the path to liberation. The Buddha said, "Drop by drop is the water pot filled." Likewise, the wise gather wisdom little by little, moment by moment. Patience and trust allow us to let life flow naturally without forcing outcomes. Why we struggle to let go. Our struggle to control everything often stems from impatience and a lack of trust in the natural order. We resist impermanence, forgetting that all things arise and pass away according to causes and conditions. This resistance creates suffering as we cling to what we want and push away what we dislike. When we trust in the Buddha's teachings, we recognize that the answers to life's challenges do not lie in clinging or forcing, but in mindfulness, wisdom, and compassion. The Buddha reminds us, health is the greatest gift, contentment the greatest wealth, trust the best relationship. Trusting in the natural order is not about giving up. It's about understanding that life moves according to karma and that everything has its time. The wisdom of surrender is like planting seeds. You cannot force them to grow. You water them, provide sunlight, and trust the natural process. Similarly, we plant the seeds of right view, right action, and right intention, trusting that the results will come in their own time. The peace of surrender. What happens when we surrender everything to the Buddha's teachings? We entrust our struggles and challenges to the natural law of cause and effect, or karma. This surrender is not passive. It is an act of faith in the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path. By surrendering, we accept impermanence and recognize that every storm eventually passes. Imagine saying to yourself, "I trust in the Buddha's wisdom." By following the path of mindfulness, effort, and right action, everything will align as it should. This mindset brings a deep sense of peace, even in uncertain times. The Dhammapada reminds us, "Be still as a rock, unmoved by the winds of praise or blame, gain or loss." When we let go of craving and aversion, we find ourselves resting in the present moment. The Buddha's words echo this truth. Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. Inner stillness arises naturally when we align ourselves with mindfulness and trust. Trusting in stories of faith. History and teachings provide us with inspiring examples of trust and surrender. Anathapindika, a devoted disciple of the Buddha, is one such story. Known for his generosity, Anathapindika faced financial hardships later in life, but continued to support the Sangha. Despite his struggles, he trusted in the virtues of generosity and mindfulness, demonstrating that trust and surrender transform our relationship with life's challenges. We also see surrender in the life of Siddhartha Gautama himself. Before attaining enlightenment, Siddhartha faced temptations from Mara while meditating under the Bodhi tree. Mara tried to shake his resolve with fear, doubt, and attachment, yet Siddhartha remained steadfast. He didn't resist or fight. Instead, he stayed grounded in mindfulness and trust. This ultimate act of surrender to patience, clarity, and wisdom led to his enlightenment. These stories remind us that surrendering does not mean passivity or helplessness. Rather, it is an act of strength and faith. It is stepping aside and allowing wisdom to guide our actions. The active practice of surrender. Surrendering is a declaration of trust in the Buddha's teachings. It says, "I believe in the wisdom of the Buddha and the guidance of the Eightfold Path." Trying to control outcomes without mindfulness or understanding often leads to suffering. But when we let go and align ourselves with the natural flow of life, we find harmony. Siddhartha's story provides another example. He is remembered for building the Jetavana monastery, a place where the Buddha's teachings could be shared with countless beings. Despite obstacles, Siddhartha trusted that his efforts would bring immense benefit. His patience and faith created a lasting legacy that continues to inspire us today. This reminds us that surrendering to the Buddha's teachings is not about giving up responsibility. Rather, it is about acting mindfully and trusting that the right results will come in due time. A meditation on letting go. Let us take a moment to meditate on surrender and trust. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and feel the calmness of this moment. Reflect on the Buddha's words. Let go of the past, let go of the future, and let go of the present. With a mind free of attachment, you will cross over as you breathe. Consider the burdens you are holding on to. Perhaps it is fear, worry, or the need to control. Imagine each burden as a pebble in your hand. One by one, place them at the feet of the Buddha. Let go with trust, knowing that by practicing mindfulness and compassion, everything will align as it should. Surrendering also means trusting the process of karma. Everything we experience arises from causes and conditions. Instead of forcing results, we focus on planting the right seeds through mindful actions, kind speech, and compassionate thoughts. This trust brings a deep sense of peace and relief, freeing us from the stress of trying to control outcomes. Surrendering as a way of life. Surrendering doesn't mean passivity. It is an active engagement with life, accepting what comes and responding with wisdom. The Buddha teaches us to act with right effort, avoiding extremes of forcing or resisting, and instead moving in harmony with life's natural flow. This approach allows us to experience life fully, with all its beauty and challenges. We learn to trust that every moment, even the difficult ones, holds an opportunity for growth. Let us recite this prayer of surrender together. I surrender my fears, my doubts, and my desires to the Buddha. I trust in the path of mindfulness, wisdom, and compassion. I release my attachments and let go of my craving for control. May I walk the middle way with patience, peace, and faith. May the teachings of the Buddha guide me through every challenge, illuminating my path with clarity and kindness. A daily practice of trust. Trust is a powerful practice. When we surrender to the Buddha's teachings, we free ourselves from the burden of control. Life becomes a flow, and by aligning ourselves with mindfulness and wisdom, we move effortlessly through its currents. Today, declare to yourself, I surrender everything to the Buddha. Let this be your guiding mantra as you navigate the day. Trust that by living mindfully and practicing compassion, every moment holds the potential for peace and joy. If this message resonates with you, take a moment to reflect. What areas of your life can you surrender with trust? Share your thoughts with others. Together, let us support one another on this path, trusting in the teachings of the Buddha to guide us toward liberation and inner peace.